Are you ready to move into a leadership position? Do you have interests and ambitions that you want to pursue, but feel like you don't know how to take that next step? Maybe you want to start your own coaching or consulting agency. I'm Mel, and I help educators define their career path through correct mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for your career transition. I will show you how to level up your leadership skills, share your expertise in a new way, create impact on a larger scale, and put your leadership in motion. As an educator for over 20 years, I started to feel underused and like I had more to give. I knew when the time had come for me to leave the classroom and affect change on a larger level. Now, I'm ready to help you determine where your talents and skills mesh with your passions and interests. Put your leadership in motion and move into that next phase of your educational career journey. Let me help you define your career path by having the right mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for that next leadership position. So power up and put your leadership in motion. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mel Vandevort. Today, I have a guest with me. I have Dr. Benjamin Ritter. And he is a certified leadership and career coach, an author of the Amazon bestseller, Becoming Fearless, which he sent me a copy. It is so good. So if you have not gotten your hands on that, you need to do so immediately. He is the founder of Live for Yourself Consulting, and he is passionate about creating a world where people live and work fearlessly. Welcome to the show. Do you want me to call you Benjamin, or do you go by Ben? What do you go by?
Please call me Ben. I appreciate it. Is it Dr. Mel, Dr. Vandevord?
Yeah, you can call me Dr. Mel. You can call me Mel. Just Mel
Okay.
is fine. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we're going to one syllable. So please call me
Exactly.
Ben and I'll call you
All
Mel.
right. That sounds great. Well, welcome to the show, Ben.
I appreciate you having me. It's always fun to chat and hopefully empower. Right? That's kind of the goal. Let's create some
Yes.
fearlessness in the world.
Exactly. And you are in Austin, Texas. I don't think I've ever been to Austin. I've been through Dallas, and my son was in the military, so he was in San Antonio, which it was just hot down there. It was September when he graduated from his flight school, and wow, it was just hot. And I was not a fan. So heat is not my friend. But you are in Austin, and you said it's a little bit warm there still right now. So
Yeah, I think it's a good way to sweat out all the toxins. So
exactly.
it's like automatic weight loss every summer. Just go outside
Exactly.
and
Exactly. Sweat them out and then not have the appetite to eat anything to replace it for sure.
but we do have some good barbecue, so they
Mm,
counter each other.
exactly. I can always go for some good barbecue. It's really good stuff, really good stuff. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, what you do, and who Ben Ritter is, Dr. Ben Ritter is.
Yeah, so I get to have some fun at work through helping guide people to become more fearless in their careers. I don't know what I want to do to I know what I want to do and I can't make it happen to I'm doing what I want to do and I thought it would be amazing and it's not. Please help. And so generally I work with leaders or emerging leaders to help them develop those technical skills, but also how to develop their brand vision, clarity in terms of who they are and where they want to go, confidence in their skills while developing new skills, and then kind of how they want to show up. So having a little bit more control over their environment to create more meaning and job satisfaction and engagement, not just for today, but for later on in their career. I got into this world, never actually knew it existed when I started trying to find a job, because all the jobs that I tried to find and thought that I wanted failed miserably. And I initially wanted to be a professional soccer player and thought that was my end all be all. And that crashed and burned like most individuals that are interested in professional athletics. I got pretty far though, went to London for 6 months and played, had some health injuries, but that just didn't work out. And when you define yourself by something and it disappears,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to make the hard decision to give it up. You're pretty much left with nothing. So I didn't know what I wanted to do and what I cared about, where I wanted to go, and had no confidence in myself because the thing that I defined my confidence by was gone. I wanted to then be a nutritionist as it was like a good segue, and they
Mm-hmm.
canceled that major. So that stopped existing. And then I thought I'd go to another place to get that major and to pursue that degree, and that also had a roadblock. So then I found public health, and I was like, I'm going to go into public health. I'm passionate. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to help make things easier for people to be healthy, which is kind of my goal. There's this trend of
Mm-hmm.
health.
Right.
And so I was working for the Illinois Department of Public Health, and then they canceled the job due to federal funding. And then I got another job with the Department of Public Health, and they canceled that one due to funding. And then for the course of about 3 years, I had four jobs in public health that were all canceled due to funding. And so I was feeling pretty defeated. I eventually networked into healthcare, and it was kind of related, kind of not. But at that point in time, really just kind of gave up on work. I pretty much made my job not work because I didn't think it was supposed to.
Right.
And then I was also surrounded by a variety of toxic leaders, a lot of change, four different bosses, two different CEOs, three different acquisitions when I was in healthcare, and was pretty defeated. I was an actively disengaged employee, going into work, trying not to work, really avoiding conversations with people, skipping out during lunch to go to the gym and walk around because I couldn't sit at my desk anymore. Leaving early, like I actually remember like peering down the hallways of my cubicle and just like trying to avoid running into anyone while I ran out the door at like 4 o'clock. And then I actually ended up getting selected for a leadership development training program. And it was the first time in my career where I sat down with a leader who wasn't judging me, wasn't negative, wasn't toxic, and gave me the opportunity to just think through what has happened in my career and what I wanted to happen. And it really hit me that my job wasn't working because I've decided to not let it work and to not make it right.
Mm-hmm.
And really sat down and did a career audit about what I wanted to achieve, what I cared about, the challenges I wanted to face, and found this world of talent and leadership development to create organizations that don't let me happen and to help people understand how to take control of their careers so me doesn't happen as well. So I do what I do because I want to prevent me from happening for anybody else.
Right. Yeah. Oh, wow. There's a lot that you were talking about, and I was taking some notes as you were saying all of the things that kind of felt deflating, I'm sure. And those are things that I've had. Some of those have happened in my life, and jobs have been deleted, and things have just not worked out the way I had a mental model of them working out. But I have found that, God always has a plan, and those failures really aren't failures. It's Him either building resilience in you, or giving you skills that you need, or simply just removing something because He doesn't want you at that spot. But one of the things that you said, and my audience is new and aspiring leaders for education, so building leaders, toxic leadership, doing an audit of the things in your building. And in my mind, I'm thinking like yourself, like doing an audit of your mental model and your expectations, but then also kind of auditing the people that you are leading to see how they feel about things and do an audit of their emotional well-being, all of those things. But then also that talent and leadership development. So we got a lot we can talk about, and we got a short time to do it. So let's get started.
Yeah, I want to call out that I gave up control over my career despite the leaders around me, despite the environment. I made the choice to show up and not engage. And that made everything so much worse. And when I realized that despite toxic leadership, despite my environment, I could pave a path forward. It it changed like my world. Because no matter how long it takes, if you're actively pursuing the things that you care about, once you know what they are, you're going to grow. You're going to make progress.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to mold your environment. And so when I realized that I wanted to, after the career audit, which I think we're going to talk about, I went to my manager at the time and I said, I want to go work on projects that relate to talent development. And I went and made new connections, created greater visibility. I started working on those projects at the corporate level and started paving the path in this direction. But guess what? We got acquired again. Everything I was working on got halted. The people I was working with actually got let go. And so another roadblock, like previously in my career, where before I gave up, this time I go, oh, okay, where's the other door? And like you said, the universe decides to shut doors for a reason. Well, the the door that ended up being open for me that I pursued was the doctorate in organizational leadership with a concentration in coaching. And I can't tell you how many doors this degree has opened up. And I'm not sure what it has for you, but the relationships, the education, the
Mm-hmm.
expertise, getting
Mm-hmm.
published, it has been the pinnacle of me being able to create the career that I have today because learning a lot of learning positions opened up as I had talent development in another field. I've had the opportunity to go work with education leaders, which I haven't had in the past. And education is important to me, despite the degrees, because my mom was a principal, she was a teacher, and then she was the associate dean of university, and now she's a substitute teacher again, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just to be able to teach and to guide others is crucial, but we have to teach and guide ourselves first.
So when we're thinking about toxic leadership, we have new and aspiring leaders who either are in a district where they know what the culture is already, or they're going to a district where they're not sure, but they've heard things. You know, you can kind of get a feel when you go into a building or an interview what the culture is like. When I did my interview for my position that I hold now, I knew what kind of culture at least the board was presenting, and it felt really good. But I've been in interviews where it felt not good. And I knew immediately this is not where I need to be because this interview it makes me feel bad. So if the interview itself makes you not feel good, then you know that the job and the culture in the building or district is not going to be great. But when you're thinking as a building leader, you have you have leadership above you, but then you have people who you are leading as well. Let's speak to both of those. Those who may be toxic above you, because I've been in that situation before. But then also now you're new in this leadership and you may be having to fix a toxic culture and flip it around to be a much more positive culture, a place where people want to be instead of people trying to get out the door at 4 because and they're sneaking out so nobody speaks to them, that kind of thing.
One of the biggest mistakes, because this is a huge topic, but one of the biggest mistakes I see leaders make when they're trying to impact a culture or manage up, especially with the toxic leader, is they allow their beliefs to impact their actions. And they allow their initial reactions or their beliefs overall to never be challenged or changed. Oh, this person is toxic. Now they have a label, and then you treat them a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Or those people are from the last organization, the last leader, they're just that way. And we know from education, if you assume that someone is a certain way, that directly impacts their results.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happens with leadership. And so we have to every single day wake up with positive intent for the people around us. We have to assume positive intent. I don't care how toxic the leader is. I don't care how toxic the people that you're leading are. We have to go in and say, well, what if they meant something good by that? Or what what if my belief isn't right? Maybe I'm misperceiving this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we only do that when we've made the decision to stay. Because I think toxicity, like we can be in abusive environments and we might need to leave, and we shouldn't give people the benefit of the doubt when our health is at risk. But let's say you've decided to stay, you've decided to make some changes. We need to assume positive intent. The second thing is we have to lead with empathy. So, oh, they were rude just now. So again, positive intent. Maybe they weren't trying to be rude. Empathy. Wow, I wonder what's happening in their life right now to cause them to be like this and to act like this. And so if we can
Or
have those two things, we're building some grace.
what's happening in their day because
Yeah, happening in their
I
day.
yeah, because I have a ton of things coming at me and I so we've have this joke the last couple of days because it's fix your face, because we've had those fix your face moments. And it's not because we meant anything bad by it, but we're taken aback by something, or something's coming at us quicker than we can process. And it may be, like you said, nothing at all to do with you. And it may just be that moment in that day where so much is in their brain. And I am that person who I wear it in my face and my body language. So I have to be very cognizant of that when I'm speaking to the people that I am now leading, because they're likely to perceive it a certain way because they don't know me yet. I am brand new to the
Mhm.
district, and they know nothing about me or my body language or my posture or anything that like that. So they're having to learn that about me and realize that I don't mean anything by it, or I am really listening to you, but I'm processing what you say and it looks like I'm disengaged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. And that's when we have to actually be transparent and give feedback to say
Mhm.
something along the lines of, like with the disengaged individual, this might not be true, but what I'm noticing right now is that you're looking off into the left. So that
Mhm.
makes me feel like you didn't really hear what I just said. So I just want to say it again. And so you're stating a fact. You're
Mhm.
not making an assumption. That generally creates an easier conversation. But with toxicity, just really need to call out, you have tools in front of you, your leaders, employees, whatever they are, and you have goals. And changing the tools is is may or may not happen. And if you're going to have those tools to reach those goals, and like specifically your personal goals or your professional goals, then you have to make do with what you have.
Mhm.
And that comes sometimes with dropping our ego. It comes with sometimes perceiving an event, reframing it to be more positive for yourself. And basically, it's like, how do you learn to deal with your current situation in a positive way, so where your health is not negatively affected, to reach what you're trying to achieve for your career? And sometimes that means swallowing some pride, swallowing some ego. Sometimes it means avoiding certain people certain times. Sometimes it means having an upfront, honest, transparent conversation.
Mhm.
There's some great books, Nonviolent Communication or Crucial Conversations,
Mhm.
where you stay
Mhm.
goal oriented, you give
Right.
specific feedback. That's You talk about the impact of it, where you're not making assumptions or judgments of the person, but it's letting go of that kind of defense mechanism and that ego that we tend to have that gets in the way of us making the most of our situation. And when we're in a toxic world, it's hard because we're stressed, we're tired, we're
Mhm.
frustrated, we we want to protect ourselves, when in actuality protecting ourselves will actually be saying, how do I make the most of this situation, this conversation, instead of trying to like fight or flight.
Mhm. Right. Right. Absolutely. So let's talk about that talent and leadership development, because that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about this year for my team, is to really put their potential in motion and pull out those passions and their skills and their God-given gifts and talents, and really push them into leadership in some capacity. And that doesn't mean you have to wear a leadership title. You can still be a leader in your building, in your district, with the skills that you have.
Can you repeat the question for me one more time?
Well, it wasn't really a question, I guess. It was more of
Yeah.
just like, let's just talk to that talent acquisition and then talent growth, I guess, and cultivating that talent
Yeah.
and leadership in your team.
Yeah. And I think this relates to what you were mentioning around how do you assess culture? I think it's the same answer. And the role of a leader, at least my definition, would be you are responsible for curating an environment that helps an individual lean into their strengths and achieve a specific outcome that the organization needs, as well as maybe the person needs. So your job is not the direct output of that person. Your job is not to direct them or tell them what to do. Your job is to provide them the understanding and the resources to be more successful and to grow and to evolve while helping the organization. So that means you first have to have trust, and building trust generally comes from credibility and reliability. So that you follow up, did you follow through? Do you show that you care? Those are crucial. And once you have trust, then you can do some other things. You
Mm-hmm.
can curate kind of a bubble around each employee to help them thrive. And that's what leadership is. So I'm learning what actual work they like working on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm helping them craft their job to be more aligned with those interests. I'm ensuring that they have the resources they need to achieve
Mm-hmm.
those goals and to do that work, which is a big one. I mean, even everything from having a computer to having a pen to having a charger, those are resources. But resources might also be skills and capabilities. So it could be training, it could be coaching, it could be teaching, whatever, it could be having a peer or a mentor, but skills and capabilities help with they're part of resources. And then why do they care about their job?
Mm-hmm.
And really understanding why they're there, why they're showing up, and then aligning how you approach them based on that. So leading towards meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have trust, when you're focused on when their environment suits them and empowers them, when their actual work is aligned and their meaning is the foundation of how you lead, then you really are. So this is the team model of managing to motivate. You've now crafted an environment on each individual employee to help them really thrive within your organization.
Mm-hmm. And you have to provide those opportunities. That's also a resource as well. And I did a lot of work yesterday with the teachers in the district about their gifts and talents and what those looked like. And I made them take a spiritual gifts assessment yesterday
Mm,
because I wanted them to recognize those things that they may not recognize in themselves. And there were things that I've never recognized in myself. And people have said, I see this in you. And so I really wanted that for them to be able to recognize that. And then, okay, so now I know this about myself. Where can I plug that in? Where can I plug that in based on my passions, my skills, my interests, all of those things? And how will they mesh with those gifts and talents that I have?
hmm Yeah, I love how you are leaning into those gifts, into those talents.
Mhm.
I think often we focus on the development areas where we generally get more from our team if we focus on those strengths. We provide feedback on what's
Mhm.
working because then we get more of it. And not everyone has to be good at everything, and everyone has their own
Exactly.
way of doing things. So how do we leverage people's gifts? Because we're going to get more from them and they're going to be more engaged. A huge part of job satisfaction is feeling like you know how to do your job.
Hmm.
Like there's a little bit of a sweet spot of challenge and discomfort and stretching
Exactly.
someone's capabilities, but
Yep.
still, then when someone is stretched and doesn't feel like they're capable, their job satisfaction generally decreases a little bit.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's like it's a little bit of a sweet spot that ebbs and flows, but we need to lean into people's strengths. We need to focus on, we need to find them out. And some people don't even know what their strengths are. And all
Exactly.
this comes from a one-on-one conversation.
Right. And then you celebrate those successes so they feel successful because if
Yeah.
you never know if you're doing things right or if you have been successful at something that you've tried until someone gives you some validation that hey,
Mhm.
you did a great job. And that's all it takes sometimes is just saying, hey, you did a really good job here. And you can always provide a little feedback if you need to, but celebrating those successes can go a long ways. So let's switch. We've got just a little bit of time left and let's talk about your book. I'm going to hold it up. I'm never good at holding things up in front of the camera. So, it's called Becoming Fearless 65 Strategies to Journey from Self Doubt to Self Mastery. And I've been reading through. It is a quick read. You mentioned that it would be, and you can kind of just pick and choose. And this morning I was feeling some kind of way about the last couple of weeks. And so I looked through the table of contents and I'm like, I think I need to read this page. And it's really good. Like you said, they're very short. So you can really define what you want to absorb that day at that moment. And you can read it throughout the day, just a quick hit to give you a little bit of motivation or turn your day around. So tell us about your book.
And I love that you mentioned that it's 65 strategies because one of the ways that I learn is through kind of affirmations or I think like fortune cookie wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a line that resonates with something that's happening in my mind in my life that I need to work on. And then I need to reflect on it. I need to take action, and then I need to reflect on it again and take action. That's how we make progress. And so I really wanted to write a book that guided people to action, to changing their life through facing fears, through believing that fear is just information and that they can actually choose to interpret it in a different way that can lead to them changing action that eventually changes their life.
Mm-hmm.
And so the book is split between personal and professional and has different, I think kind of all encompasses how fear can generally hold us back from living for ourselves, hence live for
Mm-hmm.
yourself consulting. I appreciate you also saying how it's like I pull this out when there's something that's on my mind that might be getting in the way
Mm-hmm.
because it's supposed to create some accountability towards your own life. And
Mm-hmm.
so you are in control. You are the most important leader in your world and in your life. Lead yourself like you want to lead others.
Mm-hmm.
And then empower you. It should be motivating because
Mm-hmm.
if why would we be self-defeating? Why would we tell ourselves we can't do something? We do it all the time. We give the microphone to that part of our brains and that part of ourselves. Instead, why don't we try to have a talk track and a belief that we can accomplish anything? We can be fearless. And so that's also
Mm-hmm.
the goal of the book.
Yeah, it is very good. And again, if you guys haven't gotten it, you should get out there today and get it because it's going to change the way you think about a lot of things. Some of the things I just kind of started reading it when you first sent it to me, and I just kind of was reading it straight through. But then, like I said this morning, I just felt like, I just need a little bit of something to give me a little bit of motivation because it's been a hard last couple of weeks with trying to get ready for school and learn a new job and be the best I can be at all of the things I need to be at this moment and take things as they're coming at me, but then be able to prioritize. And I'm not even go I'm just going to be really transparent right now. I am very overwhelmed and not sleeping well because I've got so much in my brain and I want to make sure that the first week of school is the best that it can be, that we are prepared to receive our students. We got teachers back on campus this week and it was really good, but even at that, I wasn't as prepared for them to come back as I wanted to be, but they didn't know that. And that's okay because they didn't know that it wasn't perfect, or at least perfect in my mind. And I can be a perfectionist sometimes, and that holds me back in some areas because of that. It's not necessarily, well, I guess it is fear. It is fear of things not being good enough to go out into the world or have people partake in whatever. So, it's it was very motivating this morning to find one of those short little chapters in there that worked for what I needed it for.
I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, no one knows what's going on in your mind.
Exactly.
It's so beautiful.
Exactly.
And we don't also realize that everyone's really afraid. Like those teachers coming back
Yes.
probably were pretty scared. Like
Yes.
there's fear impacting
Yes.
their day. And then they
Exactly.
when they were able maybe to see you or meet you, like they were like, "Oh, okay. Everything's okay."
Yeah.
And they had no idea what you were thinking.
Exactly. Exactly. So tell us or tell my audience, I know how to get a hold of you, but my audience does not. So tell my audience how they can connect with you after they listen to this episode.
Yeah. So I'm very active on LinkedIn, Dr. Benjamin Ritter. Find me, connect with me. If you send me a screenshot that you've left a review for Mel's podcast, then there might be a free little gift for you.
Oh,
So
thank you
please
for
leave
that.
reviews, promote the show. And if you want to learn more about coaching or the book or other podcasts that I host or I've been on, check out Live for Yourself Consulting, just how it's spelled, or LFY Consulting will take you there too.
Wonderful. And my audience knows I will have all of those links in the show notes, so you won't have any trouble connecting with Dr. Ben Ritter. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a really good conversation. Again, thank you for the book, and I hope everybody runs out and gets this because it is really good.
Thank you, Mel.
All right. And for the rest of you, thank you for joining us today. And I will see you back here next week. Bye-bye.